Greetings, my name is Deja Watkins. I'm a junior, majoring in English with a concentration in secondary education. And today I will be discussing what is art, the understanding of art, and the Renaissance period during art. What is art? Art is just a simple idea. The danger of a one-sided mind when thinking about art is that you won't fully understand what art truly is. Also, in today's society, art has been converted into good art and bad art. But what truly is bad art? In the words of Pablo Picasso, everything you can imagine is real. Understanding art. It is important to recognize by understanding art that fine arts is important to understand that art has many different components. The top three different components are form, function, and content. Each topic sheds light on the different artifacts. Also, when dealing with art, it is important to realize that art has 7 different elements. With the different elements, you will have line, form, texture, color, space, and value. When dealing with form, form is one of the 7 elements of art. At its most basic, a form is a 3-dimensional geometric figure. So whether it is flat, whether it is 3-dimensional, whether it is a sphere or cube, it is still art. Dealing with the function of the artifact. What does the artifact do? When thinking about the word function, you will know that function is about an artifact and its intended use. In addition to function, there are 3 broad categories, which are fine art, applied, and social art. All of these different arts make up function, and all of them are very important and different in each aspect. Content. Content, which refers to the representation, messages, and or ideas. Content has 2 factors that are under different categories, which are primary and secondary. Primary factor is the denotational meanings that can be expressed representationally or non-representationally. The secondary factor is connotative content, which can be implied or suggestive. So sometimes when artists make different artifacts or whatever have you, they basically either are implying something or basically are suggesting something to make you think a little deeper. An important thought is that content is not defined by the artist, but it is defined by the person and how they perceive the art. So art is all left up to you. How do you think about it? What do you think about art, and how do you perceive it? The Renaissance time period was between the years of the 1300s and the 1600s. The Renaissance means rebirth, which means something new, something fresh, and a new start. But a tragedy happened during the Renaissance period that changed art and artists forever during that time. Black Death, which is known as a bacterial disease that came to Europe and killed nearly 75 to 200 million people from a bacterial disease. This not only put a huge impact on art, but it did put a huge impact on artists. Artists were not able to express themselves how they were able to before with such a tragedy. Everywhere they looked, people were dying, people were not living, and everything was just really bad. To your left, I have a picture called The Triumph of Death, which was painted in 1562 by Peter Bruegel the Elder. He painted this picture because he simply imagined Black Death to look like this. People dying everywhere is red, and people were just being killed off with a bacterial disease. Art during this tragedy. This dreadful trauma of this era gave different imaginations to the writers and to the artists. Some artists felt as though it was hard to create amazing art in such a dark world. With such a tragedy going on at that time, it didn't give artists that to be able to do a little bit more. Some of the portraits that they created used complementary colors, and most of the time, and also they used analog colors to create a more monochromatic monochromatic look. The artists put emphasis on the bodies that were in the portraits. For example, the Fall of the Damned is also known as the Fall of the Rebel Angels, created by Peter Paul Rubens in 1620. The Fall of the Damned used composition in a very peculiar way, as well as mountains. Artists made sure that they used different colors in the background to bring out the bodies that were laid around on the ground. Basically, what Black Death meant was that the Christians had a problem with the Europeans and they got into a fight, and basically they thought that God was punishing them by giving them the bacteria disease, Black Death. Also in the picture you can see that the primary colors, you have red, and you also have a few complementary colors as well. So you have red, orange, and you also have the bodies, which are white, and the artist, Mr. P.D.L. Brugel, the elder, made sure that you were able to see the composition and the lines of the artist and where they were. Black Death. Also here I have pictured is the Fall of the Damned, which is dated in 1620, and the artist is Peter Paul Rubens. This artist made sure that he put emphasis on the body as well. As you can see, the light that is shining in the top left corner is basically heaven shining down on the Europeans. Black Death was a tragedy that happened in Europe during this time. It really caused a lot of artists to not be able to express themselves in the way that they wanted to. When dealing with understanding art, as we stated earlier, there are different ways to understand art, and it all depends on you, the person who is viewing the art. How do you perceive the art? What is this artist trying to tell you through this art? What I personally got from this art piece is that the artist was trying to tell us that the sun was shining down, but we were still dying and we were still passing away. Here are my sources. I basically used the What is Art by Matt Hoops, and I also used the article Understanding Art. I got my pictures from the website Google, which basically also told me what the Fall of the Damned meant, and also the other artists. I also researched Black Death to make sure that I had a deeper, in-depth thought process of what Black Death was and how it happened and why it happened and how were artists and writers affected by Black art. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.